This place taught me an important lesson. Look at that. Fear is nothing. Right behind me, the Muslim community would get together every year and we'd celebrate Eid al-Fitr. For those of you that don't know, Eid al-Fitr is Muslim Christmas. It's big, big simplification. Do not get too mad at me for that. But it's our biggest holiday. Their biggest holiday. I'll get into that. But I spent every year coming here and we celebrated, you know, the end of Ramadan, the month where we fasted from sunrise to sunset. And there was a lot of traditions that came with this, and I didn't really understand them. But I did know that I grew to enjoy it after a little while. Seeing everybody agree on one thing, come together and celebrate, it's pretty cool. But I changed. Traditions are really good to bring people and groups together, right? But when you don't agree with what the whole group believes, you can quickly find yourself ostracized or isolated. So this place stopped being somewhere that I loved. It became something that I honestly didn't look at too fondly. It's it's hard because I'm sure many of you that are watching this have, changed your beliefs or disagreed with your parents or your loved ones, and it created tension. But what I want to talk about today is reclaiming spaces, reclaiming things, because they don't have to be someone else's. They don't have to have that meaning tied to it. So whether it was a breakup or, you don't speak to your family as much because they don't accept you, you can create new memories. And that's what's so awesome about architecture. What's so awesome about space is you basically get to create your own story in each one. So eventually I reclaimed this space for myself. You see, growing up, I wasn't really allowed to date, right? It's not too unique, but for me, in my instance, getting found out dating someone or being with a girl at all would have resulted in me potentially being kicked out of the house or just worse things happening inside the house we don't got to get into. That didn't really stop me. I was scared of those consequences, but I was more scared to not be myself. You can see here, this is a concert hall. At the BJCC, they have Broadway shows every year. My girlfriend at the time, her family had like passes to see almost every show here. My favorite musical is Fiddler on the Roof. Basically, Fiddler on the Roof is a really great musical talking about tradition, what it means, and breaking it. In it, there's three main daughters. Technically, there's four daughters. Fourth one doesn't matter. And they all love different people. With each lover comes a new break in tradition or expectation, not even necessarily tradition. It is insane when you live somewhere for so long how a place can change for you, right? It's kind of like when you listen to a song and maybe you're in a relationship or it was shown to you by, an ex or something, and at the time it's amazing, but afterwards you can't listen to the song anymore. And that's always been so sad to me. Reclamation, something big in architecture, I think that should apply to our lives as well. We should reclaim our materials from our past and build them new things. And, I honestly thought I'd have a hard time being here because that girlfriend cheated on me. Despite the fact that I had a lot of good times here after the fact and I felt like I reclaimed part of this, I lost part of it again. Um, and we also just lost our sunlight. I didn't even check the framing for this. That's a good angle too. We're gonna do the reverse shot too. So yeah, kind of a bombshell right there. She cheated on me, and I have almost never felt worse in my life. All of the places here, we were together for 5 years, and um, that was difficult for a lot of reasons because I'm 22 and I was 21 when it happened, and that's like 25% nearly of my life. Yeah, that was awful, and I was so scared that I couldn't enjoy a lot of the things that I used to. For a little while, I couldn't. For a little while, I really couldn't enjoy life the way I used to because everything was tied to her in the same way that everything used to be tied to Islam, to those traditions. You come up with a way of thinking that is completely, that is your worldview. And I don't know if you know this, but changing your worldview is kind of hard. It's kind of hard. We need to get the reverse shot right here because we're still talking about architecture of it. This space, it's about appreciating space, right? So even though bad things happen to you in places, or even though that bad things happen that are associated with good things, that doesn't mean that you can't appreciate good things. Those ladders over there, sweet, sick. If you don't like them, maybe we can still be friends. But I just love the way that so many simple things can look so pretty if you just look at it the right way. And that doesn't get to change because somebody cheated on you or because your parent left you. That doesn't change it. The world is still the world, and you still get to see it the way you want to see it. It's a little bit of a higher drop than it looks. Okay, we'll just jump with our backpack first. Whew. Y'all, I need to get in shape. Okay. So now I'm here, breaking away from tradition. So what next? Once you've broken from tradition, you might have made the wrong decision. Does that mean that tradition was right? I don't think so. You could argue that I made the wrong decision with that partner. I wouldn't argue that you're wrong, but it's more about the person you become along the way, what you learn, and how you grow. And I struggle to remember that sometimes. Oh, this wind. I struggle to remember that sometimes, but it's so important to just think of the bad things as good things. And I know what you're thinking. Omar, I've gone through so much. I've gone through so much in my life, and eventually bad things are just bad things. I don't disagree with you necessarily. I don't think my mind is completely made up, but my car was blown up. I didn't live in the best family situation. I know you're a stranger, but I'm not going to talk about it in this video. I'll leave a link below as to what my life is like. Made the news, because that's not what this video is about. But I can't live in a world where we let hardship dictate what we want to do and who we are and how we can be. It does dictate some things. It can dictate where you are at a certain time, and what's happening can ruin your day. But we need to hold our heads up high, and we need to think of every piece of damage that we take as a chance to heal back stronger. So the BJCC is now a place where I developed in multiple ways. It's not the place where I took my girlfriend at the time to her favorite artist exhibition. It's not the place where I saw some of my favorite Broadway shows. It is, but more importantly, it is a place where I am making my own traditions. And my tradition is just to appreciate things. But I didn't know how beautiful this place was until I consciously looked for beauty. And beauty is everywhere, even in pain. Especially in pain. And while I don't want any of us to go through pain and suffering, that's just not going to happen. Pain and suffering is the only way that you are going to know that you need to break tradition, and tradition's not for you, or that tradition isn't for you. So, I guess let's go find our next angles. We still haven't done that reverse shot that's so pretty. So this place is gorgeous, and I feel like not enough people know that. Simply by just occupying a space, you're gonna make memories there if you're intentional and you're conscious about it. I think I'm gonna make a video here. I know I am, but I'm talking about a video about this space, like an architectural style video. Yeah, I came here to kind of rehash the past a little bit and see what I could learn, which is the whole point of this series, mental space. Get into my mental space and see what everything's about, because everything happens somewhere. We got Stevie Wonder playing. It's just a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I don't know, guys. I'm just having fun with this. I want to know. Let me know in the comments. What are some of your favorite spaces? What are spaces that you had a lot of, iffy memories? Did you leave your religion, and is there a place associated with that? Are there things that you can learn to appreciate in a different way? So, look at that. I got it. That's the cue. That's the cue. Is we need the sunlight to disappear.